Sabina, what do you want to talk about?
I will talk about Diamond Hands, the Legend of Wall Street Bets. Um, um, Interesting documentary. And if we were going to talk about the South by Southwest sort of brand, I think this sort of fits that. So what I liked about this film is that it definitely is rooting for the underdog of sorts. It's about GameStop and the trading that went on, and the hedge funders who lost out, and the underdog common man who won, and some who didn't. And it does a bit of a portrait of a couple of different people who dabbled in the stock market during the pandemic because they had extra money. They were kind of at home. And so they were interested. Some people wanted to change their life. Some people wanted to think about retirement. And they picked some obscure people who sort of represent a cross-section of, maybe mid-30s, mid-40s, millennial types, and younger, who played the game. They were Reddit users, and they saw the Wall Street Bets scenario, which is sort of a subreddit forum, and they all started doing their research and learning, and they played. And out of nowhere, Robinhood, which allows you to do no fee stock betting, so to speak, allowed everyone to kind of jump in. And listening to a couple people on the forum, people made some money and people didn't. But it also kind of put out there during the pandemic this new ape culture, which is what I was drawn to, because I could hear from family members and people around me like starting to do this wild investing. And I'm like, what are they talking about? What is this ape thing? Where does this come from? And so this movie sort of explains all of it. It's got a lot of memes. It's got a lot of emojis. There's a lot of characterized stuff that's been manipulated to bring their story out there, mainly because how do you film the stock market? No one wants to see a bunch of numbers. So they did the best they can. It's a little overwhelming. And I think they did a really good job of building up the crescendo of everything. And then they brought in some big guns to talk about the Wall Street investor, the big time hedge funders who took a dive, who were kind of pissed off. And then the ones who really were like, well, it's Wall Street. So I think the best part about it is that people couldn't take a stand when that thing fell. I guess when they saw the opportunity to short the stock, they went for it. And it was completely unexpected. And what I also love about it is, I thought, GameStop is something that maybe our Film Threat readers and reviewers, especially in the gaming world, would know about, because it's this kind of, and I said it in the review, like it's this sort of blockbuster video dead end kind of thing, like it was going down that hall. It looks like it, literally. It's just, in a strip mall off a road that, it's like, what's in that store kind of place. And I just love it. It's just this wild random thing that pissed off a lot of people, and some people really went broke, and then other people who never in a million years literally have $1 million. And so it was good. Like I said, it was overloaded with imagery. If you like the stock market at all, definitely watch it. If the stock market bores you and you don't understand it, it may not be your cup of tea.
All right, Chris Gore wants to know what the term "diamond hands" means.
Diamond hands means
I assume they explained that in the movie.
So it's an emoji, and what it means is that you're holding on to a stock, and you're being pressured to sell it. And because you think if you hold on long enough, you're going to make some serious money when the time is right. So it's that cringe moment, and there's a lot of that in the movie.
Yeah. So I mean, I think my understanding of the whole situation is that the hedge funds were shorting GameStop, expecting it to go down in price, and then these Reddit users came in to buy it to keep to basically ruin those shorting options.
Yeah.
I mean, is that? I guess there's a lot of drama in that, and you talked about the overload of imagery. I mean, do you feel like they kind of captured this drama of David going after Goliath?
You know, it's interesting. The drama was captured in the people that they brought in to talk about their experience, and those profiles were unique in that there were young people with their own idea of what they want out of the stock market, and people talk about, especially the subreddit who is Wall Street Bets, like, you know, you're following these storylines, you're not so sure if they're going to happen or not, and so they took a chance, and it worked, and they are the apes because they are undeveloped, they're unformed, they're, as low form of man on the stock market. And that's what I think I love about this film, is that it shows like how obnoxious Wall Street really is.
Yeah. Well, just the reaction to it when Wall Street wanted to prevent the little guys from being able to invest, and so
Yeah.
they had Robinhood, which is one of the apps that was allowing to do this, suspend sale of AMC and GameStop stocks, and
he held his ground. I mean, he was grilled to no end, and he's still functioning, and people wanted him dead. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
And especially some of the people they bring in, some of the big Wall Streeters, they're pissed. They're just pissed, and it's like they don't have enough money, or they're just pissed that they didn't see it coming. And I think that's is really what this is about. Like, you never know what's going to happen on the stock market, and I think that that's the gamble you take.
Yeah.
But people
yet when the housing market crashed, they all saw it coming and they all profited from it. So,
well, they created that. This is different. Like this is different. This is something that they had no idea they had no idea the power of the people.
Well, that's what I'm saying is when the corporations are profiting off of the failure of a company, there's something a little fishy about that. And
it's fishy, and it definitely shows like who's at the top and who's at the bottom, and good luck. And it just and that's where all the imagery kind of drives you nuts, and they try and throw that out. But it is worthwhile, because if you don't know the market, you kind of have to learn it fast and understand what the hell everyone's talking about.